All right, let's get to the other bit of D.C. drama out there today. President Trump calling on Intel CEO Lip Bhutan to resign immediately, saying he's highly conflicted due to his ties to Chinese companies. His Truth Social post comes a day after Republican Senator Tom Cotton questioned Tan's investments and referenced a criminal case involving his old firm, Cadence Design. Shares of Intel falling about 3% today, are down nearly 12% this quarter. Let's bring in Doug Clinton, CEO and founder of Intelligent Alpha. Doug, great to have you with us. There's a couple of ways of looking at this. In terms of Lip Bhutan, we just came off of this whole segment about how Tim Cook had to go to Washington and appease President Trump. If Intel wants the backing of the federal government, because part of the bull thesis on Intel is that it's the national semiconductor company. It's not going to be the national semiconductor company and possibly getting loans, et cetera, money from the federal government if the president does not like the CEO. What should Intel do?
I think they're in a hard spot, and I'm actually surprised, Melissa, the stock wasn't down more than it was today. I think part of that is because the market knows now. We've been dealing with these tariff questions for several months, and the question is, how serious is Trump? He might change his mind tomorrow on some of these issues. But I think the real challenge for Intel is they've committed to make large investments in America. They have a $28 billion fab project in Ohio that's been paused, delayed 5 years now. And I think that has to be something that's on the mind of the president, on the mind of the administration, is how do we get Intel some forward momentum? I mean, the company, the stock, they're both in the same place. They have no momentum because I think they've had a lot of challenges operationally. Maybe they need a new CEO, and maybe that's Trump's angle. But certainly this uncertainty is not going to be helpful for the stock or the company right now.
Doug, it's Karen. Thanks for being on. What's the difference between delayed 5 years and never going to happen? It sounds sort of like the same thing. What should they be doing now?
In fact, Karen, it may never happen because I know there's more recent reports that if they can't find demand for the new node that they're working in, node process there, which is 14A, they may delay the plant indefinitely. And so I think that speaks to the fundamental challenges that Intel is having. And the reality is this: TSMC, Samsung, they just fundamentally right now are better partners for any chip designer who needs to fab chips at great scale. Intel just has not figured out how to deliver a competitive product. I don't really know if changing the CEO again this year would make a difference on that.
Or maybe changing the CEO again will make the turnaround even worse, make it more difficult. I mean, it takes time for a CEO to come in and get familiar, and Lip Bhutan has been in there for a bit now. And you're basically throwing that sort of foundation away and starting anew. I mean, do you think that the Intel turnaround is delayed or maybe even put off indefinitely if they are required to get rid of the CEO and find a new one?
I think if you're an investor in Intel, which at Intelligent Alpha, we use AI to pick stocks, our AI models happen not to like Intel. But I think if you are an investor in Intel, what you're probably looking for is one of two things. Either we hear more about a potential breakup because there are still valuable assets there. They have the chip design business. The x86 processor is still not dead. They do have the foundry business, which has lost a lot of money, but I think there could still be value in those assets. If we get more momentum on this idea of a breakup, that could be good for the stock. The other thing is, maybe Trump's angle here is some sort of a nationalization play, saying, Intel is actually a national security asset. We'll invest here, we'll give them favorable treatment, whatever that might look like, and you could have an Apple scenario if you get an announcement like that.